Yo, Q, what up? Yo, Q,
Man,
what
I'm
up?
keeping it real. What up, Duan?
Welcome
Let's get it.
to Not
Not
Just
yeah.
Music, where we keep it real and honest.
Always.
My mama praying, telling me, Q, you need to chill. They can't respect the truth, I'm just honest.
All right, everybody, what's going on? It's your boy Duan Barino. Got my boy Quincy Murdoch with me, and we are Not Just Music Podcast. And we are here. It is another 8 o'clock p.m. Thursday. We are raring to go. How's everything?
Everything good, man. Everything, man.
Good. I'm not
great.
I'm not complaining. But I will ask a very grand question of you good people today. One thing that I've become very big on in my life, and I know a lot of you are too. Some are, some aren't, but this is a very open topic, and I'm gonna ask this topic of you. So, when you were young, and this is not to you yet, bro. This is to everybody. When you were young, were you forced? Meaning, when you were a child, when your parents, when you were being raised, were you a child that was forced into a lifestyle, or were you allowed a lifestyle?
This one's deep.
I feel that this question can go a very long way. The reason being, there are a lot of people who feel as if lifestyle was hard, meaning they had to do what they were given. For me, it was never the case of I had to feel as if I was forced to do anything. So, Q, tell me, what did you have to endure as a child? Were you forced to do things? Meaning, were your grandparents, your mother, were you forced in a forced position with them to do things, or did they allow you a little bit of leeway?
Well, to get a little bit on my story so people will understand my answer, okay. Came from a single parent household. My father left early, so my mom was a single parent. So she was working all the time. So my grandparents basically raised me. So got all that out the way. So you got a picture now. So on my mom's side, I think I was forced, and not due to her lack of loving me, but it was the lifestyle and her situations and things she had to go through. And it rubbed off on me, her son. So she was more harder than my grandmother and my grandparents, because my grandparents were actually the first ones to get me introduced into music, because I had a love for beating on things. I love playing the drums. So I used to beat on pots and pans when I was young, down my grandma and them house, late at night, waking up everybody, my two cousins, and grandpa and grandma eventually got tired of me doing that, so they got me a drum set. So I was always into music. So my grandparents actually supported my whole music thing from the beginning. My mom was more of that's a waste of time. You need to get you a job, but she was going off based her lifestyle. So in a way, I feel like I was kind of forced into a life that my mom wanted me to have, that I didn't want for myself. And as I got older, I started growing into myself and realized this is what I love. This, regardless of what my mom was telling me I should be, I knew who I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the hardest thing kids can do. I feel like a lot of kids are scared of that, and to be themselves or be who they want themselves to be, because of that pressure of the parent, because it's your mother or your father, Yeah.
I see a lot of kids now that are actually being forced. That's why I brought this topic up. Maybe you're a parent out there and you're this type of parent that, let's just give an example. Your son plays basketball, right? And the hype is you hype your child up. You don't really give them a lane to really pick and choose what they really want to do. You just kind of just let it go. So in your mentality that you think that it's okay to say, oh, my son is going to be the next NBA star. How do you know that your son is going to be the next NBA star? Just because he's good at basketball right now doesn't mean that he's going to want to play basketball all of his natural life.
Exactly.
So you can't sit and say that you're going to force your child into a seat that isn't going to suit what he needs. Or if it doesn't go that way, say he turns into a doctor. So does that mean that he's not the apple of your eye anymore? Because
go
ahead.
I say one even deeper. Like you can raise your kids how you want to raise them, but you can't dictate what they're gonna want to be.
Thank you.
For example, like if you can raise a straight boy their whole life, and if they grow up and want to like boys and like men like them, are you gonna disown your child? You know what I'm saying? So I ask that and I get deep with it because as parents, this is stuff that can happen and you have to be ready for it. Are you going to neglect your child then because of what they want to be instead of who you want them to be? So this is still in the topic. So you got to ask yourself questions like that because he's talking basketball and I'm talking something that is like a whoa, you know what I'm saying? So you got to think of it like that. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
And this is now let's look at it this way. Now I got an even better question to come along with that. It's something that connects to that, and I want this to be so. Do you feel that a parent pushing their child to education is different than pushing them in the route of saying something like a sport? Do you feel do you feel that the guidelines should remain about the same, or do you feel like a parent pushing for education just in that light of saying like, oh, you gonna make sure you do your homework, you gonna make sure you do this work, you gonna make sure you do this?
Yeah.
Do you
Cause nowadays in time, they need that because kids is running over parents now. So I totally agree with that now because that's what they need. Back then, I'm a 90s baby. Back then, you didn't even have to yell at kids. You just give them that look and they knew what time it was.
Yeah, absolutely right.
So that question is a complicated question because if you ask me that like in the 10 years ago, I'd probably be like, I feel like they being a little too hard on them. The kids are trying their best. They listening. They're doing their work. They're going to school. Now, kids ain't going to school. Kids smoking weed. Kids, telling their parents what they gonna do and not do. Yeah. So it needs to be instilled now. But back then, it could have been lighter on us. The 90s babies and 80s and on. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's how I feel on that question.
Yeah, I find it.
You need to get them active in sports too, because now if you don't get them active in something positive, they go to the streets. So easily that parents have to be more on their kids now due to the other temptations out here in the world. Because it wasn't bad like this when we were little. We used to go to the park and actually want to be outside and play in the dirt and stuff like that. Find rocks and get dirty. I remember playing with my two cousins. So. Nowadays, everybody fun is toting guns and smoking. Yeah.
As a parent, when you push education, are you pushing education in the lines of saying, do you, as a parent, want your child to have an education, or are you pushing it in the lights of saying, okay, the child just needs to have an education? It's two different ways. It's kind of crazy. And let me detail a little bit more. But the question is the child's education important to you? Or is it important to you and the child? That's simply what I'm asking. Because, see, a lot of times your kid may not like education. It may not be a thing of they like it, but the biggest thing is, are you doing what you can to help them find ways, an easier way to learn? Because sometimes, like I said, I was one of those kids that I didn't like the high school, the whole all the aspects of school. It was just because the way it was taught.
I'm gonna break in when you finish.
Come on with it. And if it's the case of,
because the thing of it is, a lot of kids, you know, because you gotta look at it in my position. A lot of kids would die for an opportunity like to go to college and like have and actually have parents pay for their college. You know what I'm saying? Be financially set and supported. Same with music. If a kid is showing interest in something, music, like some kids are talented, but their parents won't enlist them in those singing programs. They won't enlist them to anything music wise that they see a gift and they see that talent, but they won't enlist those traits in them in time and effort and money. But they'll tell them to go get a 9 to 5.
yeah,
I've never understood that. And the same with college, like you're actually pressing your child to be something bigger.
Yeah.
You know, you got to look at it like that. You're pressing them to be something bigger. Now they may not want to be in the occupation you want them to be in, so you should let them pick the occupation they want.
yeah.
But pressing them to be better is no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I feel pressing them to be bigger in life and better in life, I agree with. But trying to put a title or occupation on them that they don't feel comfortable doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the problem, because as parents, we know the things we face as we get older. So you want your child to have the best in life. You know what I'm saying? Working a 9 to 5, working for somebody, breaking your back all day. At the end of the day, your retirement money might spend up when you retired. That's not all to life. Like, I think we're settling. We setting ourselves back when we just settle for that.
Yeah.
So I always think big. That's what I instill in my kids, you know, to dream big, not just average, you know.
Yeah. So now, I have found that the education thing is very important. Also, if it's a extracurricular activity that your child wants to participate in, please allow them to do that.
Please.
Don't get to the point where you're just like, okay, it's just all about education. It's all about education. There's nothing wrong with pushing education. That's my biggest point. There's nothing wrong with being educated. That's good to be educated. But there are also a lot of things and aspects in life that elementary school, junior high school, and college are not going to teach. The world is going to have to teach this.
Preach.
The only way that the world can teach it to this child or to this individual is if you allow it to be the case. It's nothing wrong with being scared and your child is going to go out here and fall into the hands of something wrong or something bad. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't fall as thinking as if in like this is the only thing that your child is going to, you know, education is only going to go but so far. Those mathematical problems are only going to go but so far. Those English problems are only going to go but so far. Those history projects, they're only going to go but so far. Because by the time they get to this age, where I'm at, history, that what you know about history,
they need life lessons.
They're gonna need life lessons, and cause if you don't know about life, it's gonna hit you even harder the older you get, and you'll never be prepared for it.
Yeah.
So
and that's why I feel like trials and tribulations, and like you say, fear. You know, having fear is a life lesson. Like lack of fear, you can't be scared. Your child is gonna fail.
You can't, man.
You know what I'm saying? Because in order to achieve great things, you have great sacrifices come with it, you know, and great risks come with it.
Say so.
Nothing worth having, you know, is going to come easy.
Say
Nothing
so.
worth keeping is going to come easy. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take work.
Say so. Say so. Now, as your kids are getting older, and do you feel that there are things that they're doing now that you can say that you truly are going to like look into?
Yeah, dancing, music. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with parents. You see traits in your kids, well, you should know your kids and know and see their gift and their talent when they're young.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what parents are. If you don't know your kid, then obviously you're not there.
Yeah.
And we're here to inspire. Maybe you need to be in their life a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, to see what they like.
Very important.
It's very important. So no shade, just being honest. I mean, because you got to know your kids, and that's what we're talking about. You have to understand your kids, and know what their traits are, what they like, their strong points, and stop putting off your life onto them.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's certain things you find in your kids. You know, you pay attention to them. In their life. Yeah,
I feel like that's one thing. You pay attention to what your kids are doing. If you pay attention to what your kids are doing, a lot of those heartaches and headaches that you were having won't be such a bad thing to you if you just allow them to show you what they love, show you what they like, give you energy, give you time to digest it, see if it's okay. You know what? This could be a healthy thing for me too as a parent because the child is happy. It isn't saying let them go out and just run the streets. That's
the crazy thing. And crazy thing is, a lot of parents live in the same house with their kids and don't know nothing about them. I don't care to know.
No, they don't.
I don't want to listen. Get an understanding of what their kids want in life, and that's the problem.
They don't, and that's the heartache. That's the heartache right there. They don't want to. It burns them once they find out what their child is into. It's too late. It waited too long to try to figure it out, try to fix it, or even try to take a chance at seeing what it's about because they done figured it out on their own. Now, I know this is one thing I'm gonna ask. Do you feel any celebrities run the risk of that more than just us regular folks?
Run the risk of what?
They're putting a lot of pressure on their kid to be great as they are, as on a pedestal as they are. So like just say, for example, I'm not saying these two are the case, but you got LeBron James and you got Bronny. Do you feel Bronny is in his own lane, or do you think that?
I think he enjoys it. I think he enjoys playing basketball. Mm-hmm. I think LeBron gave him a choice what he wanted to be, and he's probably like, "I'm gonna be like you, Daddy." Mm-hmm. So LeBron was like, as a great father, come with me. I'm gonna show you the ropes. Yeah, that's what we need. That situation right there is what we need, because it's a lot of people that have these gifts and talents in them, and they have nobody to like put that in them. Yeah, to be great. Or be that. Yeah. So yeah.
So do you feel?
It depends on the situation.
Yeah. So like,
LeBron is actually.
So I'm gonna ask you a good question then. So let's move over to somebody else that I know this one's gonna kind of strike crazy. So do you feel Kanye West is doing a deed? So let me be honest with you. You never hear Kanye speak on a situation of what his kids can be or will be. Yeah. It's like he leaves a very wide open door to them. The only thing I see that he gives them is lanes of people to be around. Who do you know? Who are you around? You know, who are you growing up around? That's very important to him. So do you feel his ethic of method or doing things is basically like up the same lines as LeBron doing? Because you don't see him ever pressing his kids in the light of anything.
I'm going to be honest. I feel like Kanye, behind closed doors, I think Kanye, he seems like a great father. Yeah. He seems like a father that listens to his children and wants the best for his children. Yeah. And I think Kanye speaks on what Kanye feels and what Kanye wants. I don't think it's something that he pushes on his kids. Yeah. Everything Kanye says, he stands on it for him. And that's the key. Yeah. Like, he stands on it for him. Yeah. He don't care if he's not doing it for. He's not saying this for his kids, or he don't even mention his kids when he say this stuff, because he doesn't want them affected. I feel. Yeah. He wants all the blame, and that's one thing I respect about Kanye. He wants all the heat. I said it. It's what I stand on. Yeah. You got a problem with it, you got a problem with me, not my family, not Kim, Now, you know what I'm saying? So that's the thing I like about Kanye. He's a stand-up guy. If you gonna do it, stand up with it. On your own. Don't put it on your kids. So that's why I respect him, because I don't feel like he forces his kids.
Yeah. All right, people. We are in the last phase of this episode, and we've been talking about, parental values and the child's values. And I think the topic of this one shall be parental. I ain't figured it all the way out. Something parental value and child value. It's gonna be something along the lines of that. But in the case of Sam, I'm still speaking on this, and we can close this out. So,
great topic though.
If you have a child, and this is my opinion, again, never overlook what your child is doing at home.
Yes.
Pay attention to what your child is doing. Your child is going to show you something pretty much daily that they love to do. And I'm not talking about just the video gamers. There is a life in video game now in 2023.
You
but
make
trust
money
me,
off that, man.
Trust me.
But that ain't now.
That just
it
make sure that's
a phase.
An extracurricular activity first of all.
That's just a time thing.
Yeah.
Right now going
make
on.
sure they understand that's not a lifestyle right out the gate. But for those that see those that it's an extracurricular, it's something that can bring value to what they're doing. Yes, make sure that you give your child that lane that, oh, mom and dad gave me this and gave me that. They gave me a basketball, they gave me a football, they gave me a baseball, or they gave me some books, gave me the internet, laptop, things, or gave me a painter's kit, something like that. It could be anything like that.
Yeah.
Don't feel as if
something positive.
Yeah, don't feel as if you're as being a parent that this is just a thing of you just have to be hard on your child to make them be something that you want them to be. Still allow them those values that they have to shine. Don't ever dim their light. If they want to be a flute player, let them be a flute player. If they want to be a violinist, let them be a violinist. There are things that come along with being that, and make sure that you're the type of parent that doesn't just look at them as they're making noise. Make sure that organized noise is something that it becomes something big for them if it is the case. And always be a good listener to your child. Always listen to your child. They will speak to you. They will talk to you. Don't let them disrespect you, but at the same time, listen to them.
Please.
Listen to them. Make sure that you get what they let them express and get things that they feel are valued out, so you can understand what their value is. Anything in closing, brother?
Nah, but basically, just the way I close this out, man, is let your kids be kids and let them dictate their own destiny and be their own person.
Mm-hmm.
But also never be afraid to correct them in a positive way if you see them making a mistake. But if it's nothing wrong with what they're doing and it's positive and it's something that's going to help them, let them be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's my closing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my favorite part, most expressive part, your part,
Donate.
first of all,
Subscribe.
Wherever you at, YouTube, whether you're on YouTube, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you're on Facebook, hit that like button, hit that follow button. If you're on Instagram, hit that follow button. Wherever you're at, if you're on the website, hit those, go through everything. Just follow everything that's in there, because I got a lot of stuff. I mean, all of our distribution platforms. Follow us everywhere that you can, that you like. Follow your favorite one. Make sure you tap in with us. Also, like you said, donate. That's a biggie too. Donate. We're running a Thanksgiving giveaway every year. That's what we want to do every year. We're on top of it this year. So we're in the month of March. At the end of March, so we have
April's coming fast.
April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and we have all those months to push this. So please, if you know anybody, please, that could help us, whether if it's 25 cents, whether if it's $250,000, whether if it's $1 million, whatever it is that you can do to help, please help. It'll always go to something great. We can't do all of this by ourselves. We need your help just to help you all. So we can be a blessing to you all as well. You know, we have everything we need, but there's always more that we can get to help us better what we have. In the meantime, always stay blessed, always stay motivated. And parents, please, 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 please listen and watch and pay attention to your child. They have value. It won't be like their best friend sometime. They always have value, though.
They won't be like you.
And they won't be like you, most importantly. If they're like you, if they have likes of you, it's fine, but they won't be exactly like you. All right? I'm your boy, Duan Barrino. Got Quincy Murdoch with me as always. And we are Not Just Music Podcast. We hope to see you next week, 8 o'clock p.m. Thursday. We love y'all. Peace.